probably not the best thing for him, but at least he can cost average down some of those, bullion coins, those melt value coins that he purchased. So there are things that you can do if you're holding coins in your portfolio that you pay too much for. So you can adjust it and tweak your portfolio so as we see gold rise, you'll be able to take advantage and perhaps you can turn your negative into a positive. But the guy's going to have to wait a real long time till like gold's over $1,400 until he breaks even. So.
I wanted to add one thing, just a small thing here, and I don't want to belabor this because it's not appropriate, but we've been getting emails from people who want to get updated on the saga of Pat Kiley, who has disappeared. I got a note late yesterday on he and Trevor Cook, and the person said I spoke to attorney John Harper, and he said apparently Pat Kiley and Trevor Cook stole millions of dollars from thousands of people, and so I thought I'd pass that on to you. Whether the attorney is correct or not remains to be seen, and that, information, take it for what it's worth. Anyway, let's go on. I think I have one more question or two here. No, one. This is an article, and he highlighted it, and it didn't come out the parts he wanted me to address, but it has to do with the U.S. government orchestrating market moves to affect the massive Treasury auctions last week, and the event was astronomical, as you all know if you were subscribers to the International Forecaster. $235 billion, and that is really a lot of money in one auction. And it goes on to talk about the manipulation. First, they knocked gold down, and we predicted that. We said Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday would be down, and they banged it down to make it look good. And they also went in and strengthened the Treasury market, and at the same time, they did rally the dollar one day, and the other 2 days it stayed slightly above even. The SEC and the CFTC looked the other way, and this is all true. We've been talking about it for years. We've been talking about it longer than anybody else. My first article in the Bull and Bear in August of 1988, I said that the U.S. government was manipulating the market, and I went on to explain why and how. And I was the first one to call that Barrick Gold was working with the U.S. government manipulating the market. And in Blanche's lawsuit against the government, and which was dismissed, actually because they made a deal financially, which I thought was disgusting.
That's what Blanchard does.
Yeah, and, this business of self-interest rather than protecting the American people. And anyway, what was I saying? Get sidetracked there. Barrick was manipulating the market, and 5 or 6 years later they admitted it. In fact, I tried to get a lawsuit going against the management by the shareholders of Barrick Gold, and I couldn't get anybody to do it. They didn't want to get involved. I mean, selling gold forward is the antithesis of being a mining company. Especially, you know that it's like a short position. I mean, you're really betting on the short term that gold's going to go down. And so, anyway, that's all the questions I have. Go ahead, Melanie.
This person, Ed, he says he read with great interest yesterday about Schumer was saying that the SEC will ban flash trading, and he wants you to comment on those developments, mostly on if you feel that the proposition will truly eliminate the flash trading and the front-running of trades like Goldman and the like, and or will it contain loopholes that don't really change the ability of this to occur?
What has happened because of the large exposure on what Goldman and I guess 15 or 16 others were doing is that the reason that Schumer is pursuing it is that there are other interests on Wall Street that are not black box traders. And they're getting clipped for a penny or two or three on most every order they put in. And they're sick and tired of it. And they obviously went to him and said, look, this has got to end. We're sick and tired of getting stolen from. So that's where the heat came from. And so the SEC is going to stop them from doing it. And whether they do stop them, remains to be seen. If I had to guess, I would say they will stop it. They will stop it because no one will go in the market. 73% of the trades are black box. I mean, that means that only 17% of the people who are in the market are investors. The rest of them are scalping the market. And the public is not going to invest in that environment, even if they have professionals doing it for them. Because if they don't have a black box that's as good as what Goldman's got, they're going to get screwed. And their clients will too. So I do think it'll bring it to a stop. And I want to see the results of the DTC positions on the naked shorting before I say that they really are doing something about it. They say that they're ending it. Let's see. It's a tremendous profit center. Because the idea is to take an $8 stock and you and all your buddies just short it and short it and short it and short it and don't deliver and don't have any collateralized position. And so if you get a company with 50 million shares outstanding and the trading by shorts has got 110 million, you know that you get a problem. Or maybe a billion shares. And they drive the company right out of business because they can't raise money, they can't function. And this started around 1980 because Goldstein was the Goldstein Commission with the SEC, and they wanted commentary. And I told them, it's insanity. It's illegal. It shouldn't be done. And they did nothing about it. That's because the major firms on Wall Street own Washington, D.C. There's a revolving door going from almost all the major firms in New York City right through the Treasury Department and many other parts of our government. And it's got to be stopped.
Well, you know, we're talking about market manipulation. This question or comment is in from Murray, both question and comment. Why do people invest in these markets, and why do people do all this trend analysis if we all know the market is manipulated? Doesn't make sense to him. It's called a paycheck, isn't it, Bob?
Well, the problem is this. You accumulate money by doing what you do best. You're an attorney, you're a doctor, you're a hose carrier, you're a truck driver, and you got to do something with it. You want it to keep its value and maybe even appreciate. And so that's why people make investments. When you reach a point where all the markets are rigged, you got to figure out which one is rigged the least and which one will they have the hardest time continuing to rig. That happens to be the gold and silver markets. And if you saw this past week and this week, you know that they're on thin ice. They couldn't hold the gold down no matter what. And gold is going to take off. They are losing control. I do not think the United States government has any gold left at all. And you've got to hit that physical market to make it go down. Yeah, you can sell all the derivatives you want and short all you want, and that's okay. But you've got to cover those positions. With gold for sale, you can really keep the market down. They don't have any gold for sale. Look, they have the old Washington Agreement, which is the European